going to go back to my roots of sorts. So the background there is me fiddling around with the general adversarial thingy again. I decided to do a series, like, instead of the crucifix. What would the necklace be like if Jesus had died this way, or this way, or this way, or this way? So did stoning. This one is tied to poverty. Another one is overdosing on GHB. While some politicians are trying to hide the body. All the modern things. I'm gonna explore, try to find out. Okay. Let's see. Evangelist Trainer. Yes. By Fialun 1. We're gonna credit where credit is due. So what I need to do is edit seed and add game capture and tell it and save it. And then I go and say there we go. That should be it, I think. No, why did it do that? It didn't do that. Applications. There we go. There we go. Okay. My ear is better. A little bit. They're starting that, like, we'll drain it. I think I'm forcing it. I shouldn't force it. I just don't. I hate it. My ear does this. Feels so powerless. So I'm gonna evangelize. I used to be an evangelical Christian. No, I mean, I'm a miscellaneous now. I still have.
I will set up an example of a person who might be a non-believer or a different religion, has testimony that conflicts with ours, yea. They may say God sent them a sign but it was false, etc. Also, let's just say these people are your age. I will give a character description and you will tell me what you would say to this person after praying about what to say first. How the person will respond is up to them.
Okay. Let's make it do.
You pray to Jesus, let this be an informative moment if it be your will.
Yeah.
In the distance you see a young man, about your age, you know God has purposely set this person before you for a reason. What should you do? You assess his hotness, left side, strike him up in conversation, right side. You assess that he is a 6.5 out of 10 on the hotness scale. Not bad, you should say something to him. Below a 6, say nothing. What if he is straight? Between a 6.0 to 7.5, Speaker's Corner, did you know 2 Corinthians 5:7? If yes, that's awesome. I can tell we will be great friends. If no, that's okay, it is what saves us.
Hold off on explicit. Witnessing until Jesus comes up organically in the conversation. Just get to know him. And congratulate. Alright. And fist bump self.
You hold off explicit witnessing until Jesus comes up organically in the conversation. Just get to know him, and fist bump self about the guy being cute, right side. Yes. Get to know him. You knew that being friends with guys who listen to Bruno Mars would come in handy one day. You start by saying, hey, did you know the word friend isn't even in the Bible, except as a title for Jesus? He looks at you really weird and says no. Then you hit him with a Bible question. What was Christ's mother's name? He quickly answers, Mary.
And
You give him a fun fact. Did you know in Hebrew one of the uses of the word feet is as a euphemism for genitals? Right side trying to balance out the awkwardness of the left side. Oh really? Well, did you know Jesus learned obedience through what he suffered? Hebrews 5:8-9. His face says it all. But who are you, he asks, like anyone isn't aware what you do, and I don't buy into the whole Yahweh and Jesus thing, sorry. Well, there it is. You continue the conversation, allowing his lack of faith to enable the more skeptical parts of you to show up. I don't know if you follow the whole thing literally. You hope he responds to heal your disease of the disdain for religious hypocrisy as well as blasphemy, yet inside, you can't help but really not care if he becomes a fan, a parastic, or any such thing. Dude, you're fucking crazy. What are these deviled eggs? These are your desert treats you like TP give people on the street. You try to make the yolk into little fruity smoky things, but now they are more like flooded canoes. Wanna try? You have a deep conversation about the existence of mollusks on another planet, or maybe angels in another dimension. When you finally say goodbye, he pauses in silence for a second while then engulfing you in hug. You seem cool. Will you be my friend? You say, sure. And trade phone numbers and your AOL account screen name. Still. He offs and leaves. Damn, you're so smooth with him. But still you shared some laughs at least. Now you can see him as a good time, maybe hang out once in a while. You and then maybe after hours of slowly ever so deeper conversations, maybe there's some wiggle room if he swings that way? Even if you are just the sole exception in his life for a brief moment, that'd be hot. After dropping Charles off at his house,
What?
It's about 11:30 p.m. Good time to head home and get that workout for the next day over with. As you lay down and start your deep tidal breathing, concentrating on making all the muscles in your body relax at once, you realize Jesus had some awesome yoga moves. You seem to be losing more weight every week. you find yourself sweating. Jesus goes, look at the temperature dial on the wall. That's where you made it a hot yoga session for you. Oof, are you indeed? It's just about the best thing for cleansing the spirit, not to mention, melting the fat right off your damned frame. If you're looking to lose weight, you should think about running the marathon in a couple weeks. All that pasta and bread will just become fuel for one of Earth's great athletic competitions. Oh, what the heck, might as well. Jesus said, while cultivating a discipline for your body to match your spirit is groovy, let's not get all diphoric about it.
Nope. Dysphoric.
You crack your neck with a couple of quick motions, and hoist yourself up out of your seat into a standing position. Jesus watches attentively, as you then start to stretch yourself out, like an ancient warrior, ready to be adorned with the paint of war. It feels so good, letting all the pent-up aggression just to grind itself out under your hands and your muscles. Jesus affixes the weirding module to your hand, and the vocoder to your lips. The battle droid is lowered down to the training room. It begins its rotating blip. These things usually have some sort of robot functionality that the Earth variants don't have. For some reason we just haven't put people inside them yet. Are you going to be alright with doing this? Jesus asked nervously. They're really fast, and part of their function on the battlefield is to get in close so that their enemies can't use their long-range weapons as effectively. You say, how else will I share your good news? You approach the droid, and begin witnessing, June 3:16. And shot rings out of the weirding. For God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. The battle droid sings in a soprano voice. You unload 5 more shells, each one hitting the target with impressive accuracy. I love you, Jesus. You whisper at the droid before it collapses, end over end, onto the ground. What happened? What did you do? You compressed your word into a killing note. Praise be to you. John 3:16. A red letter swims into your vision, anxious for translation. You bite back the pain, and notice that the floor beneath you is gently vibrating as you sink to all fours. You notice that there's red, blue, and purple balloons tied to your dresser, spelling the word PARTY. You say to Jesus, "What is going on? Jesus, you know I'm very apprehensive about surprise parties." Jesus tries to stifle a giggle, but ends up laughing out loud. Could that have been Satan sneaking in the room to tie those balloons to your dresser? I hope you're joking. You say, "Heck, you know you adore surprise parties." Satan's dark gaze pierces through Jesus with his periphery vision. No, really, who are you kidding? Your right side excuses itself and checks out. You stagger to your feet, holding back a howl. Okay, you seriously need to get that itch. It is unbearable in its torture. Slowly and cautiously, you reach over with your right arm, through the burning abyss of hellfire that is your left side, and initiate what feels like an innocent scratch. Your spirits rise when you confirm that the region under discussion is bone dry. In fact, I think I will. He hops onto your wrist, the only part of your body he can reach. You laugh when you see how much he resembles a rubber monkey, missing an eye and with his tail partially melted. Little infernals gambol about his feet, puffing scrolls into the air in celebration of some uncertain infernal holiday. Witnessing all the celebration, mess, and general lack of productivity makes you lament the state of your frozen cave. You say to Jesus, stranger danger? Does that count? The stranger's amphibian eyes take you in a moment. You notice immediately that his irises are quite fascinating, the redness overtaking a darkness that seems to consume rational thought. As you behold them, you feel your caution melt away, A familiar feeling overcomes you and sends shivers to the core of your being. Eternal life. Those two words pierce through your stupor and you snap back into reality. You say, I'm good, you're good. Thank you, Hasatan. No return back behind the yellow line.
Nope. That's the opposite of what I mean.
A manic smile takes form in the man's face, and in an unusual move he whips out a pocket mirror and points it toward you. After what you have seen this night, what happened next is almost predictable. Disfigurement takes the amalgamation of reflections limned in far too much black. Too much eyeliner surrounding bloodshot eyes ringed with leftover blue eyeshadow. Sunken cheeks surround unnaturally pale lips way too plump for the rest of her face. You say, who dis? Is she in a band? At first the woman struggles to retain composure, but then she erupts. When the smoke of vitriol clears away, you see the one person you least expected, that perpetually jovial cashier from several towns back. How did this happen? If you steal one more thing on this trip, I'm going to kill you, the cashier threatens with an aristocratic British accent, crouching defensively. The man's manic grin turns into a wicked smirk. You smile and say, oh, Satan, you didn't have to invite Maggie Smith. But it's great you could come join you. Here, have this nice winter king cool devil. The devil does one of those hand gestures you don't understand. An angel appears by your side, and soon you are transported to that place that exists past the horizon when you peer out the window of a plane. In this case, a city square you are quite familiar with.
For you at home, what city could that possibly be? Is it Gomorrah? Is it...
You sodomite takers? As you walk down the clouds, something catches your peripheral vision. You turn your head toward it just in time to see Satan deck Mike with a giant book. A crippling sadness grabs you by the heart as Satan begins burying Mike under stones, his growls becoming gargles, becoming whines, until at last he bursts into flames, only to be sizzling and crackling over burning limb for what seems like an eternity. You say to Michael, "Thanks for coming to the party, you'll see you next week." And Acolyte, you desperately struggle to reach out, "Don't call me that." At first Satan looks shocked, then tears begin streaming down his face as his crying intensifies tenfold. He begins screaming in agony as the stones he once buried Mike under begin bursting into flames of their own accord. The ceaseless screaming causes the earth to quake and shake, and if you listen closely, to whimper. You say, why the drama queen act? Mike begins rising from the flames of his own grave, now alive and without burn marks or wounds of any kind. He stares at Satan with hatred squared, to which Satan looks back with a mixture of fear and guilt. The fires consume him with wild abandon in every direction, blocking your view of Satan until at last a great winged red dragon resides where he once did. You douse the dragon with water cubed. Flames from the surrounding rivers, lakes, and oceans begin rising to meet toward the sky. An unprecedented downpour of biblical proportions flood the earth for a moment. When you can see once more, it is no longer land surrounding you, but rather a vast ocean, teeming with countless aquatic animals great and small. As the earth is blanketed with water, a deep bank forms at sea, it rises, and falls again as your hand does the same in response. You think to yourself, well, that's gonna make life simpler. How long were you thinking of staying there? Great, now I'm talking out loud to myself. May has grown annoyed by Nate's interruption, and says she couldn't have made it without him. Our first night in the wilderness passes by without any additional zany characters interrupting our slumber. Yet, as the sun rises, you find our group huddled up in sapling-sized clothing while you remain bare. How dare grin like that? You stay in commando as you try to resume sleep. Your junk out there is way. A test to the other humans. No sooner had you drifted off, when your screams were for naught. Your sapling-sized tunic kept you from becoming little more than a mayfly. A barrage of barks and yelps crescendo into howls, then back to barks, then howls again. By now large branches lie around you, their shadows casting a spider's web of shed light around your gaping mouth. You remind the environment, "Oh God, I'm so drunk." Then let your junk reveal itself again / Should you keep your dick out or put it back in? Maybe try to put on some more wood? Your audible gasps cause another pocket of sheer terror around you, different from the one generated the night before. Your companions stay huddled in the center, content on keeping each other's heat and scolding yours. But these people are new and interesting. What will they do next? More of the Norsemen approach you with deferential fear. You continue pretending to sleep, for whosoever acts in response to your junk will be given a response. You just want your junk to create the races, is all. Why disappoint? Once more, you see their eyes befall upon you as they saunter forth, only this time, with an additional large man. Cat calls and howls hit your ears with echoes of the forest, but your tunic is down and covers you once more. An awfully lengthy tunic for such warm weather. Your lips part into a grin, though no actual sounds could be heard from your mouth. You grunt, and pull your tunic over your head. Come on, get it over with. You think. A booming laughter hits your ears. The man introduces himself as Olaf, one of the many prominent ship owners of the archipelago which used to be Norway. Residents all went into seafaring business when it became evident that there was no land worthy of farmable existence, and are quite influential. Not prosperous, rather it seems only leaders made out in these times. It is the last you hear before fainting away. You wake up several hours later. An odd soreness finds its way through your limbs, perhaps due to the frigid water. Gently pulling yourself up, prickles of numbness sting you all over. The leather tunic you were outfitted with seemed to have kept you warm enough, although carefully examining it find that it could use some patching. 2 oval patches are sewn over the right ribs, perhaps where arrows pierced though last night. Turning around, you find that there is another resting not far away. You examine your junk, any sign of anything? Not too much junk in the trunk of a person like yourself, although you can never be too sure. Chestnut brown hair is common, naturally silky hairs dangle in front of eyes, which are an almost golden honey brown. Above the bridge of the small nose sits two arcs, evidence of a boy that was mercilessly bullied in middle school. Must have been when mom was away, and dad was at work. You yell to God, stop reading me. And yell to the earth, okay. No one becomes the beloved new superior race. You guess no one wants to celebrate your birthday. You weep. The words seem to carry across the desolate wilderness. No hey cambios. Scuffling sounds follow while you stand rigid, turning around thrice. The tunic rapiers protrude from both flanks as you feel 4 dull knives shoved into your back. Your throat hastily swallows as though oblivious of what is to transpire next. You say to God, oh. You don't like it when you crib from your book, do you? Just the parts you want you to crib from? Begin witnessing to Jesus. Resisting the urge to turn around, the haft of a knife is jabbed into your throat as you relieve the ghastly sound. Immediately, 2 warm globs throw themselves against your boots as you hear a crackling sound emanating from the sweater beside you. Puffs of smoke rise, little ones, accompanied by long billows pouring steadily out of a cavernous maw that gapes at what used to be an abdomen, just above the belly button. You say, oh, rehashing the book of Judges are we? How lame. The sound causes figure capsizing over the figure and loosely bouncing up, but in a tremendous way. Finally the muscular chest and upper arms appear almost appropriately designed to carry 2 rapiers. Impeccable form in there too, one wouldn't trade for anything else. Arms are made for hugging, and that's exactly what you do, only much more tightly. Well, some of us like spring better than fall, he says. Are you going to put out or what? You put out. Give me your phones and keys. You hold out your hand and they do so despite hesitations. Now get in the van. They get in the van, it's white, rusty, a real cheapo. You get in and quickly drive off, so you can get this finished. You make your introductions, conduct a round robin. After driving down the nondescript road, one tersely remarks, "So what do you want?" "I want you to learn. Submit to me as your new father and God if you like, but I intend to see things through and mold you into a righteous servant of the Lord." One chuckles in response. You say, "And one of you will be your special challenge. You will fight every moment and you will love it, and then you will make your butt prints all over the sand slash." They laugh at your little joke, to which you begin the round robin in which each will go around and say one thing they want to change and one thing they hope doesn't change. One by one they tell you they want to change their swearing, becoming more sexually active, how they don't know how to talk to others, especially girls, that some part of them feels gay or tomboyish inside sometimes, nervous about their future because of social anxieties and issues with their father.
What do you call it? Mine gold. Eureka. Upload. Upload. Mother.
You think you have hit the mother load. Hot damn, thank you Jesus, best birthday ever. You kick the van into gear with your bloody limbs, and you prepare to be it. Day 2. I don't get it. You say to the Christian, "Are you saying that these sinners you have brought before you will only enter the kingdom of heaven after a period of extensive hard work?" That seems excessively sad/child. You watch pornography, and you know it is wrong. You strike down innocent bunnies in your cellar, and you know that's wrong. You harbor feelings for your own gender and wonder if that is wrong or right. and you demand to be lit into him, saying you are on the list, and these are your plus 12s. In more ways than one, wink wink slash. They think, and continue the story, seriously though guys. There are some parts of me that feel gay and there are some parts of me that feel straight, and by far the strongest is this feeling to hit on Harley. The Christian laughs and points at the troll who made himself look like Jennifer Aniston to get the tweens interested. You say, hey Pastor Troll, what's shaking? What's shaking? How's that Bryan Singer fan club going? It was the 90s. But seriously, suicide can lead to you losing all your Facebook friends. I bet that would look really sad. The troll people have been making eyes at each other for quite a while now, openly expressing interest in one another until one brave and stupid soul finally says, I think I'm gay. Does that make me a child of Satan? Well, you reply, honestly. It just makes you look gay, and that's fine if you have all your bases covered and alibi sealed tight. Does this bring some passions to the surface among the other tribals in your group? There is a rough roar that erupts throughout the tribals watching, as each of their faces are filled with disapproval, all the way to open revulsion. They grumble loudly at you, standing up and moving close, while you reflexively put up your hands out in front of you in fear. Hey now, you start, before one pipes up. You sit there and valid the most heinous of acts to the world with such ease. He demands, loudly. It's not that simple, you try to plead, but he refuses to listen, instead raising his voice further. You pull out your bullhorn and sound it in his ear. Bullhorning the hell out of him succeeds in shutting the foul rabid dog up. At least for now. His face twists into a grimace, but he finally sits down as he nurses his aching ears, and you sigh in relief.
Your turn.
You say, if this is so foul, then why are all of us at Analog to Studio 54? Why have we all found ourselves here tonight? You stand up and offer an answer. Because we were lost. CO2, carbon dioxide, walks out of the dance space, and written all over his face is disgust, confusion, and concern. Those around him hold their breaths as they carefully look away and cease conversation around him. He sits down in the back corner with a few others near him, yet he seems distant. You witness to CO2 about being a perv. You look with anger in your eyes, but still a caring and humble gaze into their eyes. You sigh, and scooch over next to CO2, enjoying the small patches of ice that jut upwards from the courtyard on this cold night, as it makes a small crunch each time a person moves. There are lights dancing on the floor in several strobe-like circles. They almost move in tune with the slow bass of Norwegian DJ playing nearby.
Okay, and at that, I gotta go. I gotta do my work stuff. Gotta go work.